Hi, this is Joe from Joe's Tech Bits, back with another video. Been a while since I put a video up on YouTube. I was kind of like running out of ideas for Windows for small, simple things to explain. But I got a question from a subscriber that wanted to know how to cut and paste using the trackpad on a MacBook Air. So I am on my MacBook Air to show you how to cut and paste, and also show you how you can use gestures on the MacBook Air. First of all, I'd like to show you how to check the settings on the gestures. If you click on the apple up in the left-hand corner and go to System Preferences, you can see that highlighted, and that will take us to this page. If you look right here, there's settings for trackpad. So if you click on that, it'll give you the trackpad options. If you notice here, there's several sections here for options for the trackpad. Actually, 3 different sections. But on the first section, right here, number 3, tap to click. Now, it seems like the default, whenever I set up a new Mac system, the default is always off on that. So one of the first things I have to do is go here and make sure that is checked. Then you can tap to click. Now, this will give you all the settings, and one nice thing about it, if you see the picture right here, the video, and if you look here, each item is highlighted, and it actually shows you what the option does and how to do it with your fingers. You don't really need much pressure on there. It's just a light click. If you click one finger, you can select something or do an action, just like the left mouse button, if you're familiar with the mouse. Now the right mouse button is a 2-finger click. You can see it there, and you can see that it brings up a menu. Again, just like a regular mouse on Windows, or even if you're using a mouse on the Mac, the right click will give you an option, a menu, or something. Now, if we look over, here's the secondary click. That's the 2-finger click. If we look here, you can scroll with 2 fingers. Now the next one is scrolling first. If we get a zoom in and out, just your thumb and forefinger. A smart zoom is just a tap. You tap with 2 fingers. And rotating is very easy. You just take your thumb and forefinger and sort of twist it on the trackpad. Then we have the other options here. Switch between pages, swipe between full screen apps, notification center. You just swipe from the right, from the edge of the screen. Mission control, 3 fingers straight up. App expose. I guess that shows all the apps that you have running. The launch pad, a thumb, and it looks like 3 fingers. And show the desktop. So there's a way to see each one of them. So I'm not going to demonstrate the taps because there's videos right on the settings, and there's a lot of other places you can find it. One good reference is a support page on apple.com that explains all the multi-touch gestures on your Mac. Now you can see here there's tap to click, the secondary click, which is right click, and if you tap with two fingers, you can zoom in on some pages, like on a web page, and then if you tap real quick again, you can zoom out. Now I'm going to use my two fingers to scroll down and just show you how the scroll works with two fingers. I can pretty much pick any spot on the trackpad and use it to scroll. Now you see they even have a section on mouse gestures. So this is a very good reference to see all the different gestures. I will leave this link in the description area on the YouTube video. One thing I just thought of that I could show you on this page, I showed you how to scroll, which is just two fingers. Now if I scroll down here, right in the middle here is what is called pinch zoom. Now if I take my two fingers, my thumb and forefinger, and hold them together and then just separate them like this, I can zoom in on a web page. The other way, you can separate your fingers and bring them together, and it will unzoom or bring it back, zoom in, as you could call it, and you will see how that works. Again, there's many other different options here. If you're familiar with gestures on a tablet, the trackpad gestures are very similar, although they're not exact, but they're close. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what happened to cut and paste, I'll be getting to that pretty quick, but I wanted to make sure you saw the gestures before we went into cut and paste, because it'll help if you use your gestures. I'd like to put a timestamp in the video so that if you are familiar with gestures, you can just skip over that and go right to cut and paste. So I'll be doing that. I'd like to show you now how to actually cut and paste using some of the gestures that I've showed you earlier. There are two main things you can use a cut and paste or copy and paste. One is copying files like pictures, text files, any kind of file from one folder to another. And the other thing is within a text document, you can select text and copy it or cut it, delete it. There's a lot of things you can do with it in a text file. So I'd like to show you the cut and copy of a file first. I have two folders open here. One is this flash drive or SD card it is, and then I have one which I created on the PC here called the YouTube folder. Now what I can do with copy and paste, I can select a folder And if I do a two-finger tap, I come down and I can click on copy with my one finger. Now that particular folder, which includes a bunch of pictures, is in memory somewhere. It's called a clipboard. I'm not sure where in memory, it's just an area that the clipboard is kept. But you don't have to worry about that, because once you go over here to the folder you want to copy it to, if you do two-finger tap, and you can see it says paste item. You tap that, and now you can see the item is there. We can go open this, and you can see all the different files that are in that. Now, suppose you didn't want to just make a copy, because you can see with a copy, you have a copy here of that folder, and you also have a copy that I had on the flash drive. If you want to just move it, well, we have a little problem, because if you do a copy here, normally on a Windows machine, you'll see two choices. You'll see a copy and you see a cut. Well, the Mac doesn't have the cut option, but there's a way you can do a cut. You have to do a special move. So if I tap that and do a copy of that second folder and go over to the YouTube folder, and if I do a two-finger tap, now you see it says paste item. We don't want to paste it because it'll just do a copy. We want to move it. So if you hold the Option key down, you can see what happens here. That's with the Option key off. Here's the Option key on. You have a selection here called Move Item here. While you hold your Option key down and tap that, now what will happen, you can see that folder is gone from the flash drive and is now over here. And you can see there's a bunch of folders, a bunch of files in there, not folders. And you can also see the beach folder was copied with the files in it. And you have both of them here, but only one here because you moved the other one. Now, the other thing you can do is say, okay, I should have moved that one too, but I didn't move it, so let's just delete it off the flash drive. So we do a two-finger tap. First you select it, then do a two-finger tap. Then you go move to trash. And now it's gone. It's in the trash bucket, trash folder here. And you can see there's a bunch of other ones. So we can just say empty, and it'll get rid of everything in the trash. And all this is done with gestures. Now, one other thing I wanted to show you on here, suppose you wanted to copy, say, these folders here. Let's move this up a little bit so you can see. And we'll move down. What I'd like to do is click here and just move my finger up, and while it's holding, and I can select any number of files I'd like to copy or move. Now if I see one I don't want to move, I can hold the Command key down and unselect that. Then with everything selected, I can do again a two-finger tap and say copy, then go over to this flash drive and say, okay, I don't want to move them, I just want to copy them. So we'll paste 9 items, and there they go. Right to the other folder. The last thing I like to show you is how to use the cut and paste with text files. You can see here we're back with my YouTube folder, and I have 2 files here. What I did, I used the lorem ipsum text, which is something I used to use as a placeholder in printing in books, but it's just all nothing text. I like to open up these 2 files in Pages. Now, Pages is the Mac equivalent of Microsoft Word. I'll open that first file, and let's move this over here, and we'll go back to the folder. We'll do a second file. It's actually the same text as the first one, but I just want to show you how you can copy and paste from one file to the other. Let's move this over a little bit. I like to have, when I'm copying either files or text, I like to have both items on the screen at the same time, because a lot of times you can do a drag and drop. So here we go. We'll go to the first file, and what I can do is we'll pick out a word, say here, and we can mark it. Okay. Now this word, all I did was double tap with my finger, like as if it was a mouse, double mouse click. And now I'm going to, I selected it. Now I'm going to 2 finger tap on it, and we'll do a copy. Now here's one thing I wanted to point out to you. When you're doing text copy and paste and cut, you see what comes up here in the menu? You actually have a cut. So you can either do a copy or a cut. And as you know, a cut is like a move. It will take the original word or text or whatever and move it from one place to the other. So let's do a copy though on this one. Now I copied just that one word. Now we'll go over to this other file, and I'm going to bring the cursor down here, and if I do a double finger tap, now I can do a paste. And there's that one word we selected. If you'd like to copy a whole paragraph, you can either press and hold your mouse and drag it up to where you want to copy. Oops, we got the whole paragraph. We can do then on the selected text, we can do a 2-finger tap and do a copy. Let's do a cut. Now see, it took the text from there, and let's go over to our other document. We'll come down here under the word we moved or copied, and we'll do a paste. And you can see it took that whole paragraph. Now the other thing you can do, let's move this over a little bit. if you'd like to, let's select that again. If you'd like to change either the color or the font, first let's change the color. Here's the text color. Again, this is in Pages. This is the word processor on the Apple PCs. Go here and we'll pick a color. Let's change that to red. Now that's red. Okay, again, let's go here. If we select that, we're right at the beginning of the paragraph. We'll go down to the bottom and we'll hold the Shift key and then tap at the bottom and it'll select it. Now what we can do is, if we like to make the text bigger, we can go here and make it as big as we like. We can make it bold. We can change the font. How about impact? That's hard to read. So let's try a different one. How about Arial Black? Now that's very easy to read if you can understand the words there. So I would like to say you can do this with text. So this is how you can copy, cut, and paste with text, and you can use your gestures to select a certain area. There, I just selected that one area, and then I can, if I'd like to, I can go here and copy it. I can go over here and paste it. And in addition, I can also change the font on that selection. One other thing I forgot to mention was drag and drop. You can select whatever text you'd like. Let's select this last row here, last paragraph. And suppose we wanted to drag that whole paragraph over to this other document. We could go here and select it and hold it and drag it and drop it right on to that other document using a one finger click on here on your original document and then just dragging it over. You have to hold your finger down the whole time you're dragging. You can't leave it up. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you'd like to see some more ways to select text and use gestures with text, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the MacMost site, MacMost site. And MacMost has a lot of good information on the Macintosh. And if you go there, you'll see some more details on text editing with drag and drop and cut and paste. You don't have to just use the copy and paste in text files or with files. You can go to any site, like a website that supports copying, and you can copy something from the website into your clipboard and paste it in something else. So here's that Apple website that I showed you earlier. If I tap and hold and just drag my one finger and select the text I'd like, I can then do a two-finger tap and do a copy. Now then, if I'd like to take it over to the word processor, I can go to Pages. I can do a new document and a recent blank, and I can go right to that new document, or if it's an existing document, I can do a two-finger tap, brings up my paste menu, and do a paste, and there we have the text that I copied from the website over into my word processor. So you can copy even a whole page or as many pages as you like if you'd like to put it into a word processing document. Actually, if you did want to copy a whole page, rather than having to swipe down and hold your finger down the whole way, you can have the page selected and go up to the Edit button, and under Edit is a Select All option, and you can see there's a keyboard shortcut, the Command A. So you can either use Select All there, or you can just click Command A and it would select the whole page. Once that's selected, you do your two-finger tap to bring up the menu, do a copy. Then you can go to Pages, open a new document, and two-finger tap, do a paste, and there now you have copied the whole page. Of course, it doesn't spread the page out like it does. Maybe if you make this bigger it might. No, but at least if you wanted to save it, it's all there, and you could always save it for a later reference. So that is cut and paste. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. If I did, leave me a comment in the comments, and as usual, I hope you learned something from this, because I sure did, because I don't use the Mac as much as Windows, so I learned a few things. If you have any comments, please leave them. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.